Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. As you drive around town, it's easy to see we're in election season. Since several people are running for office, the city is reminding everyone about the rules for posting temporary campaign signs in Greensboro. The rules are intended to prevent safety hazards. Anything that could obstruct the view of a pedestrian or motorist from seeing a road or intersection is considered a safety hazard. Like other types of signs, temporary campaign signs are not allowed in any public right-of-way. Also, campaign signs should not be attached to utility poles, bus shelters, trees, or other permanent structures. Never attach windblown items such as balloons or streamers to any temporary campaign sign, and campaign signs should not light up. Make sure you know the size requirements for signs displayed in residential and non-residential areas. Owners of private property must grant permission for campaign signs to be placed on their property. All temporary campaign signs must be removed within 7 days after the election associated with the sign. For more information, visit the zoning section of the Planning Department's website. Don't be alarmed if a utility company has its crew working and digging around your property. On occasion, crews need to repair broken lines, install new pipe connections, and remove damaged cables. Utility companies have a right to work on any public right-of-way and dedicated utility easements due to franchise agreements between local and state governments and the utilities. Together, these entities are working to provide everyone high-speed internet, on-demand cable, reliable cell phone service, and safe gas lines. This requires installing and maintaining service delivery components. You can't see it, but underground within your property are pipes, lines, and cables connecting these services to you and your neighbors. While you may not subscribe to each of these services or utilities, your property may contain connectors to other households nearby who do have the service or utility. Visit the Engineering and Inspection section of the city's website for tips on what you can expect when utility companies are working near your property. National Fair Housing Month is being recognized throughout April. The Human Rights Department is hosting a luncheon on Wednesday, April 27th. This event is designed to address community concerns about the lack of affordable housing, how it sometimes leads to discriminatory treatment, and how everyone can play a part in providing solutions. The event will take place from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Revolution Mill Event Center on Revolution Mill Drive. The event is free, but registration is required to attend. The luncheon will include a panel discussion featuring Human Rights Fair Housing Officer Alan Hunt, Planning Department Director Sue Schwartz, and Neighborhood Development Director Michelle Kennedy. Following the panel discussion, attendees will participate in guided conversations at their tables about a range of topics including housing people with disabilities, income discrimination, and second chance housing, just to name a few. The Poetry Project will also perform original pieces related to fair housing. For more information or to register for the luncheon, please email Jody Stanley with the Human Rights Department. The city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's News for Your Health.
Hello, are you having trouble sleeping? I'm Dr. Clint Young, Medical Director of the Cone Health Sleep Disorder Center. Today we're going to talk about some important ways to help you get a better night's rest. Most people sleep best if they get 6 or 8 hours of regular sleep every night. The best bedrooms are quiet, cool, dark, comfortable, and safe. That means if you have a mattress that hurts your back, maybe it's better time to change it. Cool means a couple of degrees at least cooler than your daytime temperature, not cold. But it can help a lot to have a layered set of blankets rather than one heavy comforter that is all or nothing. If you're feeling a little too warm, try sticking a foot out from under the cover. Just something to shed a little body heat can make a big difference. Keep the bedroom a safe, neutral place. Don't have your arguments there. Don't worry about finances and family relationships in the bedroom. And get rid of the electronics. TVs, laptops, tablets, cell phones have bright screens that make the brain think that it's daytime. The pings of alerts all night long will not help you sleep, and you do better if you get rid of those. The habit of going to bed at a regular time is a learned habit to some extent. If you're too casual about when you get up and when you go to bed, your brain starts having more trouble figuring out what's bedtime. So get regular about it. It doesn't have to be rigid, but if you have a consistent bedtime, you'll do better. As you get ready for bedtime, we try to help people calm down, quiet down. It can help to do something easy and distracting. Reading quietly, doing puzzles can be better than doing something that's really engaging, like work from the office or playing an active video game that is stimulating. Try to get your exercise in earlier in the day. It's hard to get your body temperature back down again if you exercise too close to bed. We like people to eat and drink an hour or more before bedtime. It makes you more comfortable. It cuts down having to get up at night to go to the bathroom. It can reduce reflux problems at night. Just think in terms of settling down, quieting down, finishing up the day so that you can go on to bed. Everybody has trouble sleeping sometimes. Trouble going to sleep in the first place, trouble waking up before you're ready to. We call those the insomnias. And again, that's normal unless it happens over and over again or begins to disturb the quality of your life. It helps to calm down, to quiet down, relax, just drift, think about things that you want to think about, and don't try to solve life's problems while you're lying in bed. If sleep just won't come, then you may be better off getting up, going and doing something quiet and comfortable for a little while until you're ready to try again. That's better than lying there fretting about it. There's a place for sleep medicines. There's a big market for them and lots of people trying to sell them. Just remember that sleep medicines are tools, they're not the solution. If you're really having trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, then we can help you understand more deeply what's going on and maybe fix the underlying problem. Everybody has problems sleeping sometimes. It doesn't need to be a consuming issue for you, and it doesn't need to be something that you frighten about every night as you get ready to go to bed. Hope you sleep well.
The pandemic sidelined National Night Out last year, but neighborhoods will be back in person for this popular police safety event. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The Greensboro Police Department is bringing back National Night Out, and it will take place on Tuesday, August 2nd. The department is thrilled to host in-person events with potential modifications with safety in mind. Neighborhoods planning to participate will need to register. The deadline for registration is Friday, July 15th. Each neighborhood will receive balloons, t-shirts, and a yard sign. National Night Out is a unique crime and drug prevention event sponsored by the Greensboro Police Department. The purpose is to enhance the relationship between neighbors and law enforcement while bringing back a sense of community. For more information about GPD's National Night Out program, call the Office of Community Engagement at 336-373-2636. The Commission on the Status of Women will host its regular monthly meeting at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, April 26th. The participants and the public can join the meeting on Zoom. Guest speakers are Theo Chun with TJC Motivations Incorporated and Margarita Curcado with UNCG Admissions. They will discuss how the pandemic has changed the college experience, what to consider during the application process, and existing resources to help students with financial aid, among other things. The program is designed for high school students and their parents. For more information, call Liz Lennon in the Human Rights Department at 336-373-2038. There's still time for artists based in Greensboro to submit proposals for the next Neighborhood Arts Residency program. Proposals are due by 5 p.m. on Monday, May 2nd. 2 artist or nonprofit arts organizations will be selected, one to partner with the Random Woods neighborhood and one to partner with the Mill District. Each will be contracted for a 6-month arts residency beginning in June. Each selected partner will receive $22,500. Greensboro's Chief Creative Economy Officer Ryan Deal said, "We are excited to continue investing in historic areas. Each neighborhood in Greensboro deserves the opportunity to reflect their unique identity through the arts." The selected neighborhoods were identified for reinvestment in the Housing GSO plan. This is the second year of the program. In the first year, residency partners worked in Dudley Heights, Glenwood, and Kings Forest. For more information about the Neighborhood Arts Residency Program, contact Karen Archia, the Community Partnerships Coordinator, at 336-433-7362. Football and cheerleading go hand in hand. Coming up after the break, find out how youth can showcase their talents in either sport. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Kids who live in the city of Greensboro and love to play football can now showcase their talents beyond the city limits of Greensboro. Joining me now to talk about how Red Zone football is so popular and what it stands for is Phil Harden. He is the Assistant Athletics Director with the Parks and Recreation Department. Hello, Phil. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today, Carla.
Thank you for coming. This is so great. Red Zone football has a very specific meaning. Tell me, what does Red Zone stand for?
Red Zone is a started with a collaboration between Greensboro and High Point. Red stands for recreation, gives every kid an opportunity to participate in an organized tackle football program. The E stands for education. Obviously, we feel strongly about our kids being good students in the classroom. No such thing as an unsmart athlete per se, so we stress you got to make the grades to be able to be with us. Then the D stands for development, which means is if you play with us, we're going to try to develop you into a football player so that somewhere down the road, if you want to compete at the next level, whatever that next level would be, whether it's Parks and Rec, whether it's at a middle school or at the high school level, you'll have the building blocks that you will need to be able to go out and compete for a position.
Fantastic. So Red Zone is obviously very popular. If you were able to get High Point and Thomasville has come to the table.
Yes.
Is this a unique partnership?
It is a unique partnership. One of the few, I think, where we have multiple municipalities participating and playing together. So we play under the umbrella of Red Zone, which we have a unified set of rules that we go by. We host games both in Greensboro, High Point, and in Thomasville. So it gives the kids an opportunity to travel a little bit and play kids they normally would not see playing just Parks and Rec per se. So it's given us an opportunity to kind of expand a little bit, give us a chance to reinvent ourselves a little bit also, and it's worked well. So we've been doing Red Zone now since about 2019. Obviously, we didn't do anything in 2020 due to the pandemic hitting us, but we came back last year in 21, and we're making plans now for the 2022 season.
That's fantastic. I love to see how you've expanded and you thought outside the box to salvage a program that's very important for youth. So tell us about participation. You want the kids to make good grades. Are there other requirements?
To be able to, in the Red Zone football program, we are an unweighted division, unweighted program, which means we're not weighing you to tell you that you can't participate. We do have restrictions on skill position players. So skill positions on offense would be quarterback, running back, wide receivers, or tight ends. On defense, it would be linebackers and defensive backs. So to play one of those positions, you can't weigh over a certain amount, trying to lessen the contact or the amount of contact that the bigger kids will put on the smaller kids. So the larger kids that are over the minimum weight that we have set for skill position players will be put a stripe on their helmet, and then they're designated to play in the offense or defensive line. So that we still give everyone a chance to play and participate. We just kind of control where they can and can't based upon what their weight looks like.
Okay, that sounds like it makes sense because you want to make sure there's few injuries.
That's right.
Okay, so age-wise, who's eligible to play football? And then of course I always envision cheerleading goes hand in hand.
Yes.
What does that entail?
Well, for us, we do looking at national practices and standards. Our Red Zone program is broke down into 2-year age groups. We do 7 and 8s, which is our mites. Our 9 and 10s are junior varsity. Then we do 11 and 12-year-olds. That cutoff date for determining the age group that you play in is September 1st of 2022. So that determines the age group that you're in. We don't allow children to play up in weight or up in age groups, and we don't allow them to play down based on size either. So you register in based upon what your birth certificate says your age is, and that's how you're slotted into one of those 3 different age groups. For our cheerleading section, we offer cheerleading for ages 5 to 13. So it's a little broader age group, but we do 5 to 13 for the young ladies who want to cheerlead with us, and that coincides with the football.
Wonderful. Now, volunteers are what we strive for
Yes.
in municipal government. How can volunteers be part of this wonderful Red Zone football program?
Well, fortunately for us, we've got some volunteers. We're always looking for more volunteers. It takes a mountain of volunteers to do the football program. We like to put about 5 to 6 coaches per squad. So when you look at squads that are made up of about 22 kids, we try to get enough coaches to each squad so kids are getting individual attention. So we're always looking for coaches to coach with us. We would like for you to have some football knowledge, know the game a little bit. You got to be able to do the volunteer application and then follow up with a background check. And if you can do those things and pass a background check, then we will discuss about how you would best fit into our program based upon your abilities, your knowledge, and what your time requirements or your time restraints are.
Okay. Now, Phil, I know you've been with the city for 32 years, but I'm going to ask you to let folks know how can they contact you if they are interested in volunteering or they want their kids to be part of Red Zone football.
If you're interested in being a part of our Red Zone football, you can either contact us through the athletics office. My number is 336-373-2955, or you can shoot me an email at phil.harden@greensboro-nc.gov.
Yes.
And I will be happy to reach back out to you and answer your questions that you may have about Red Zone football.
Well, thank you, Phil, for stopping by.
All right.
Wishing you a successful Red Zone football season. Do come back and let us know about other athletic
All right.
programs going on in the city.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.
All right.
Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact you and our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. The City Council has resumed meeting in the Katie Dorsett Council Chamber on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located at 300 West Washington Street. The public is allowed in person, but only in a limited capacity. Those who choose not to be in the building can participate virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Participatory Budgeting Greensboro has extended its idea collection phase through Wednesday, April 20th. The city will provide $100,000 for PB projects or programs recommended by residents in each of the 5 city council districts. Ideas for a program or project can be submitted by completing the idea form on the city's website. The form is available in English and Spanish. The funds must be spent on improvements on city property or facilities or for programs that can be executed by city staff. PB projects must be one-time expenses that benefit the public at large. Is there an arts or history program you would like to see happen? Would you like to see something new at your favorite library or recreation center? If so, there's still time to submit your idea. PB Greensboro is also recruiting volunteers to serve on the committees to vet the ideas and prepare them for the ballot. For more information about volunteering, call Leela Lewis at 336-373-2406 or visit the city's website. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, let's meet our neighbors who boomeranged back to Greensboro.
Westerwood just is the art and soul of Greensboro is what I call it, really. It's this eclectic just very diverse, very cultured.
Kind of the same way. I mean, it's an artist neighborhood, and I love like Daniel Park that we're in right now. Beautiful for walking, and Westerwood Tavern, good for hanging out.
My name is Natalie Miller. I'm the owner of the historic Magnolia House in Greensboro, North Carolina. Moved back to take on the family business and to carry on the legacy and do the important work of sharing the historic Magnolia House's narrative and all of the other African American sites here in the area.
I'm Tal Blevins. I'm the owner of Machete Restaurant here in Greensboro, and previously I spent 20 years as a tech journalist in San Francisco. Greensboro really offered us the opportunity to start our own business because it had a lower cost of living, and it also had a lot of open retail area for us to be able to look at. We started as a pop-up out of our house just to kind of test our concept for Machete Restaurant, and then we were able to find a space and we were able to kind of live our dream.
What's really awesome that I was really impressed by when I first moved here to the Westerwood neighborhood, we have this annual event where all of the neighbors are invited to showcase their art on the porch. And you go to these people's houses and you see what they do outside of their 9-to-5 selves, and it's amazing.
So when we were looking for houses in Greensboro and we were driving around Westerwood neighborhood, we love the different architectural styles here. We have a 1920s arts and crafts house, which has got a lot of character, which is something we wanted. We have fantastic neighbors, so it just had all the amenities that we wanted, as well as being close to downtown too.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. You may have noticed members of the Greensboro Fire Department in your neighborhood. They're conducting fire hydrant testing today through May 15th. All city hydrants will be tested to ensure they are working and able to produce the required water pressure when needed. Because this testing must be done during regular operating hours, it's impossible to know in advance where or when the testing will take place in any specific area. Opening a fire hydrant can cause a temporary discoloration of water. The discoloration is not harmful in any way and can be cleared up by running the water for a few minutes. If you observe a hydrant that is out of service or experiencing problems, contact the city's Water Resources Department, since the fire department does not perform maintenance on the hydrants. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to Greensboro Transit Agency. GTA is proud to announce 2 of its employees have earned statewide recognition for their service to the Greensboro community. The North Carolina Public Transportation Association honored its winners at the annual conference in Concord. GTA fixed route operator Albert Michaud received the North Carolina Transit Driver of the Year award. Michaud has served the residents of Greensboro since February 2008. Greensboro Transit Advisory Commission member Lisa McMillan received the award for North Carolina Transit Advocate of the Year. She joined the commission in June 2019. Both Michaud and McMillan will be recognized at the GTAC meeting on April 26th and the Greensboro City Council meeting on May 3rd. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM and 100.7 FM. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.